Moon Knight, Season 1, Episode 4, The Tomb. Spoilers up ahead. We're going to deep dive into someone's brain. Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and Kyle. Today we're covering Moon Knight. We're super excited because there's a major twist happening and it's kind of giving me good hopes for the show. I kind of like where they're going with this. I'm not a comic book reader when it comes to Moon Knight comics and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is a comic thing or not, but Kyle might have answers for us. But you know what? Kyle's an awesome Instagram, guys. Go check him out. Pecos with a 0. He does amazing artwork and stuff. He's designing cool shirts for us too. So check out asart.space for our new shirt designs and stuff like that. And we also cover other shows from HBO Max to Apple Plus to Paramount Plus. We're in Halo, Severance, Raised by Wolves, His Dark Materials, you name it. We're starting to cover it. All right, we're going to jump into some crazy fun stuff. But first off, I got Jurassic Park vibes. I'm
dying to know where you got Jurassic Park
vibes.
Okay.
When she stands by the car and she lights the flare, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a Jurassic Park thing. Remember when Jeff Goldblum was getting the guy's attention with the flare, or the dinosaur's attention?
The dinosaur guy? Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh. Once I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'm like in Jurassic Park mode. I'm like, okay. Uh-huh. And then the scene when the mummy comes into the room, and she's hiding behind the thing. I'm like, oh, that totally reminds me of like, yes, exactly. And even the noise like the, I'm like, oh. Oh, that's totally like the tapping of the toe and like the whole thing. And then she knocks over something.
That's pretty good.
I was like, dude, Jurassic Park vibes. And then they did a 180 on me. And I was like, this is awesome. We're in his brain. I'm guessing we're in his brain, but we're going to talk about it. Okay, so this is episode 4. How are you feeling about the show so far?
So this has definitely brought me to like actually really loving the show. And actually, I would say that this has also tipped me over the edge with Arthur Harrow as being the villain. Like, because now we've seen him in different forms too, right? Now he's this very like gently overbearing psychiatrist, right?
Whoa.
In this like headspace afterlife play. I'm going to call it a psychiatric like afterlife, like purgatory.
But I think it's Mark Spector's version of him.
It could be,
right?
So that's the thing. So right now it seems like we don't know if this is in his head or if this is indeed the afterlife, or at least a waiting room for the afterlife.
Right? Okay, I see that. Okay, because I thought it was in his head, like that. I thought like because every moment. Like you see the cupcakes. I'm like, oh, that's episode 1. There's like a tray of cupcakes that he smashed in the guy's face. You see the police officers that come to his door.
Yep.
You see, you see the goldfish. You see the painting of the German town. So I'm like, oh, this must be everything that he recollects in his head. You even see the dead guy the mummy kills. And then there's just like so many things. I'm like,
actually, no, you're probably right. We're going to get to the bottom of this because so at least the two people who are like the ward, like security that were the cops in like real life, or like the quote unquote cops. Right?
Yes.
Are they dead or no? They're still alive.
It doesn't matter. Well, I don't know if they're dead, but the guy with the beard, we saw him die. In the tomb, but he's like alive.
And plus,
so I'm
Arthur
like,
Harrow's still alive, anyways.
But yeah, it could be. But I just thought it was characters in his head, and that's why in the third coffin, that's his other personality that wasn't released. So I'm like, this has to be like in his head. He's containing the personality, even the whole thing where he's like, I don't know, fuzzy and all that stuff. But I don't know. I can be wrong. I can be right.
Right. I just, what threw me off though is
the hippo.
Because actually, it was the hippo because so that's a Taweret, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Egyptian mythology, she's a part of the Ennead, which is a fancy way of saying the pantheon of Egyptian deities, right? And so she's like in charge of like rejuvenation and fertility, but it's theorized among some scholars that she had a sort of dual purpose, right? Ooh. So where she was like in charge of rejuvenation and fertility and bringing like life into the world, she was also sort of like provided life for the living. Wait, sorry.
A few moments later.
She also cleansed and purified the dead so they could pass safely into the afterlife as well. Right?
So that's why you think he's like in that waiting room.
That's what was kind of like giving me like, I was like,
you can
maybe,
definitely
but
be right. So
she could
both
also
right.
just barge into his psyche and be like, I'm getting you out of here.
Well, that's an interesting point because he only sees the moon god in his head.
Oh.
Right, and like all these gods, you would the only way they can interact with people is in their minds because they're in their own alternate pyramid in the floating vastness of some other universe or whatever you want to explain.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about it last episode. The overvoid, as they call it in this one in the comic books, is the other void.
And I think the only way in is through people's minds, and then they can only act through there. But I'm no expert. I have no idea what I'm talking about, really. We got new information, too, that like maybe Mark Spector killed Layla at first because he was like trying to persuade her maybe to go against Mark Spector or something like that when they were across the chasm or whatever. And he's like, oh, your father, Mark. Did he say Mark was there when he died or that Mark?
Yeah, so that's actually in line with the comic book story.
Oh,
okay. That's
cool.
what kind of tied it closer in with the comic. So Mark Spector was a part of the mercenary group that killed her father. And Mark Spector was the one that said, whoa, what we're doing is wrong. And they left him for dead, basically.
And that's when he became Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. So that's a cool way to kind of get the backstory. It's not like we have to see it happen. Like we didn't see Spider-Man get bit by the spider. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool. Right. Like this is a cool way to kind of just already, we're in kind of thing. I like that. I like that quite a bit. But, and the other major twist we got was Alexander the Great was the previous Avatar.
Yeah. Like, man.
And he's the one that imprisoned her. Because remember the last
so wait a minute.
the last Avatar, he imprisoned her so her powers because of whatever. Like he was the one that imprisoned her into the statue or something. When
you're talking about her, what do you
the bad god that wants to kill everyone?
Amit.
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry, yes, Amit. Sorry, I'm not. I'm still trying to get these Egyptian gods' names under wraps.
Yeah. But also like. I missed that
because
Alexander was the Avatar of Khonshu.
Well, yeah, because that's why they went there because the last Avatar, like it was buried with the last Avatar. I think that's how it went because then that's why he's like, oh, he was the tongue or whatever of the voice, and then in the previous episode they said like the last Avatar rebelled against her. And that's why she became that state kind of thing. So
man, I'm glad you caught these little details.
That's all I got.
And I'm fresh out, guys. Okay. Yeah.
But I was loving the set design of this episode a lot. Yeah. In the cave and also in the mind. I'm just saying
very Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I kind of really got those vibes too. I just thought and like the Mummy movies kind of vibes. But I liked it's a little bit more grittier than the Mummy movies. Then I remember the Mummy movies. I remember the Mummy movies being a lot larger where this felt small. It didn't feel like too big. Like
it's all contained in this dungeon, this temple kind of. Yeah.
It was cool though. I was really digging the set design and I was really digging the acting in this one too. I don't know what it was, but I liked the acting in this episode a lot.
Yeah. I would going back a little bit to the Alexander tomb.
Yes, sorry about that. I jumped.
No, that's fine. Because this is kind of the nerdy thing. I'm like interested because like crap, what's the alter ego of Mark Spector? Andrew?
No, Jerry. No, Steve.
Steve, you're right.
Steve something.
Jerry, yeah. No, okay.
Stephen Grant.
Yes, correct.
Wait,
okay, thank you.
Wait, Stephen Grant. Is that also the name from the main guy from Jurassic Park?
I have no idea.
Professor Grant, Stephen Grant. I can't remember. Anyways, keep going. Okay. I'm really stuck on Jurassic Park.
So Stephen Grant, when he's making a big deal that it's the lost tomb of Alexander, and I'm like, wait a minute, we do not know where Alexander the Great's tomb is, and apparently we don't. It's still like an enduring mystery. Like so, the last like sort of I think recorded instance of there being a tomb was in the 4th century CE in Egypt in Alexandria.
Oh, wow.
You know, big surprise, right?
Yeah.
And like apparently Julius Caesar and like Cleopatra visited, documented visiting the tomb, right? Or at least it's mentioned in some of the, you know, histories, right? But then after that, it kind of faded into mystery. We don't know. And then in the 19th century, there was a resurgence and like hundreds of claims that like Alexander the Great's tomb has been found, but it's like they were never really verified, right? So yeah, we still don't know.
That's kind of cool. I did not know that though.
Yeah.
I just remember, didn't he die in India?
No, he died in I think it was Babylon.
He got sick in India or something like that then.
Yeah.
Something happened in India.
I think he died in the Middle East or the Fertile Crescent somewhere. Yeah.
All right. I'm not an expert at all when it comes to Alexander the Great, as you can tell. Okay. So what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? Do you think we're going to spend a lot of time in his mind state? That's what I'm calling the white room.
I hope so.
Because
I hope so.
I think there you can't leave that space that quickly, I feel like.
Right.
Because he has a lot of character development to happen in that space.
Yeah. I think what's going to happen is this is going to be kind of like their rite of passage or like their passage into the other world to have that transformation for the hero and then come out. They're going to be like unified as one again, and they'll be able to change out and switch, you know, like between personalities.
He'll get his power back then, basically.
Yeah, they'll no longer be fighting with each other. They'll actually be
more they're already hugging, which is awesome.
I know, right? They're already hugging, right? You know, they're already hunky-dory, man.
Like Steve, Mark.
Yeah. I was like, aw, even though you did, you know, cheat on your wife with, you know,
with
but
yourself,
it's the same body. Yeah, with yourself. So that's a complicated love triangle.
I don't know, but it sounds a lot like Severance to me. But anyways, guys, we covered Severance. We really like that show. It's a lot of fun too. But okay. So and then, what do you think? Is his body? So he's just out cold right now, right? So you think they're just gonna carry him on a stretcher and just keep him along for the ride, and he's gonna wake up like in some place? Or do you think this is going to be like a split second thing and he's just going to wake up and it's like everybody was kung fu fighting and just start fighting in the temple?
So I think the question is like, well, okay, to me, I'm, as much as I love metaphor, I can also be surprisingly very literal with how I interpret like film and series. So as it showed him sinking, I wasn't sure if that was a metaphor or if that was literal, if he actually was falling into this very deep well that was behind the sarcophagus, right? Or if it was him sinking into this, into his own mind, right? Sort of deal, like it was a metaphor. Okay. So I'm not sure, like, because if he's drowning, right, then he's dead. He's gonna have to be straight up resurrected, right? But I don't know. Or maybe it's really shallow water. Right, and it's just a metaphor for that, because it looked pretty shallow when he first hit it.
Yeah, it's true, because it wasn't like he was there for a while and his face wasn't going under. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like, don't people do stuff like that for like meditative spaces too and stuff like that? Like,
right,
you know, use like water meditation and they like cover. I don't know, but
yeah,
it can go. We won't know until the start of the next episode.
I think that Taweret is going to have some sort of
guiding
play with this. Yeah. Guidance. And also maybe because she does do rejuvenation, she might be able to heal him in some way. But yeah. Also, I got to ask you, Nick, so the beginning scene, and I also want to posit this to our listeners out there. So when they're placing Khonshu's, I believe it's called a Shabti, if I remember correctly. Like when they place the Shabti figurine of Khonshu, could anyone else suss out the different, like giving us a hint of which deities were locked away?
Oh, yeah, stoned? there was a lot of them there.
Because the only one I could, because it looked like their animal aspects.
Oh yeah.
So the only one I could pin out was Anubis. Because I swore I saw jackal ears.
Oh, okay.
It's the jackal. Yeah.
But do you know what god that is?
The god of death.
Oh, okay.
I think. That's just a gut memory reaction. Hopefully that's right. God, please be gentle, internet. I'm sorry.
And then okay, so we did that. There was one thing I noticed. Do you watch the ending title sequence all the time?
Are you talking about the moon slowly getting bigger?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I remember it being like a little moon. I was like,
Yep.
is it getting? I was gonna ask you, like, is it getting larger? Or is it just me? Am I going crazy?
Yeah, it is like it is, in my notes. I even typed like confirmed moon is bigger.
I was like, hold on, like that threw me
Yeah.
off. I'm like, I don't remember that, So it's funny too, because like when that's going on, I'm like writing notes down and I'm kind of glancing up and stuff, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, for some reason the size of it just felt so large compared to previous ones, where I was like,
Yeah.
something's growing with the moon. So I'm guessing that's like by the 6th episode, because it's 6 episodes for this season.
Mhm.
I was wrong. I said 8. I got that in the comments down below. I thought it was gonna be 8 or
Oh.
9. Like I was just kind of
Mm,
going off
oh,
of the other
Nicholas.
shows we watched, but
Nicholas.
I was assuming, which is
Right.
never good, right? I should have facts, but yeah, I'm curious by the 6th episode if it's going to be a full moon, and does that mean he fully gets his powers back? And are we going to see a Clash of the Gods fight kind of thing, like Avatar full state battle royale under the moon? So
Full state avatar. I like it. You know, I think we'll get something like that. I don't think so. One thing I hope they don't do is make it like this sort of like blockbustery epic sort of like clash of like
very
Clash
Marvel.
of Gods, right? Yeah, like I want it to actually be a little bit more like in your face and personal, right?
Mhm.
Because like so far they've kind of played it that way, and I actually really like it, right? I
Yes.
feel like I'm on like an archaeology adventure kind of deal with
Yeah, very
mixed in
indie,
with
right?
superhero stuff. Yeah, so it's really cool. Hope they keep that. All right, everyone. So Nick, we're gonna do some
Comments.
some comments. All
Woo.
right, so we were ill prepared this time, so I have them on my phone. So we're gonna read those off here. So so Solo Saga says she's got to be resurrected before he can become her avatar. That's what he's trying to do.
Because I was
Mhm.
I was like, is he already the avatar? Like, this is stupid that they're trusting him, kind of thing. Because I was like, this council is so stupid. Like, this guy's digging. It's just like, come on, are they a little too stupid? But that makes sense then. It's like, oh, this is a previous avatar. He did okay as his previous job. Let's trust this guy. But
Right.
there was something definitely shady going on when he allowed him back in to like hold the statue. It's like, are they in cahoots? Are those other gods in cahoots wanting to, team up? Like there's some kind of shady stuff going on. So
Maybe.
maybe.
What?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Okay, so this comes directly from the old noggin of Alyssa Casanovas. Purple background is evil. Lol. You know what? I feel the same way.
Because we were talking about the different colors of the gods
Yeah.
and stuff. But it's so funny because like they did use purple a lot too in that episode. I know I was really focusing on the white and I was like, oh, that's really cool, the white powers and the eyes and stuff. But
Right.
purple was used to contain him into a statue.
That's true.
So purple's bad. And
Purple
purple's
we go
bad
bad.
in WandaVision
Purple
too. Yeah.
Yep. So pattern, I think maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So in second runner up for favorite username, Jesus Judas writes, I think we definitely saw Jake Lockley already, especially in this last episode when he was seeking out their coffin before his wife shows up. Pay attention to his accent, a good clue as to which personality is up.
Oh.
Really, I did. So obviously we've established that I'm sometimes not very perceptive. I didn't notice an accent change, like a New York cab driver accent.
Oh,
change.
so,
Like,
but are you looking for that though?
that's true. I wasn't.
It seems like you're
So
assuming like
maybe-
I was earlier.
Maybe Jesus Judas, is onto something
Yes.
here.
And thank you for commenting. You've been commenting on a lot of our other videos too. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, we're going to tune in next week and watch episode 5. Woo!
The penultimate episode. Stay tuned.
Yes, I'm super excited. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to stay updated for our most recent videos. Go to Instagram and follow Kyle Pecos with a 0. He does awesome artwork and stuff. And like I said earlier, we're working on some cool shirts designs too for the different shows we're watching and just cool artwork too in general. And we also have a podcast that's on Apple and Spotify and also on Audible too, I think. And that was very common. Yeah, all of our links are at asart.space. And we'll see you next time. Moon Knight out.